Good morning, friends. Welcome back to our professional ethics and human value. Management science class. Unit number 5, strategic management. Right now, okay, guys. Previous class we discussed about. Previous class we discussed. Corporate planning process. Am I right? Okay. Today's class we discussed about environmental scanning, right? Environmental scanning. So, strategic management means a long-term excellent superb plan is called as their strategic management. So in the strategic management, we need to consider the targets and resources involved, planning, organizing, and controlling. All these activities are comes under here in the strategic management. This strategic management involves planning, monitoring, analysis of the reports, and assessment of all conducted activities and their results, future results, and give the directions to key persons and controlling the each and every tasks and input and output planning means resources planning. These all things are comes under this strategic management. This strategic management is only meant for to achieve the targets of the company, to achieve the targets of the company, right? That is all about strategic management, right? So already we discussed these types of plans. So in the previous class, we discussed the strategic corporate planning process. So here, first of all, we need to understand or diagnosis or understand the environmental analysis, and then determine or set or fixation of the objects or targets of the company. Then we should prepare the strategies. So formulation means preparation, right? Preparation of the strategies, and then preparation of tactical plans. Tactical plans means here action plans. So then after completion of these action plans, then we need to implement these action plans, implementation of the tactical plans, right? So next we have follow-up action. Follow-up action means here just check the differences between these two, planned performance and actual performance. So if any gap is between them, then we need to control and we need to take a remedial steps to fill the gap. That is called as here follow-up action. So if any gap is between planned performance and actual performance, then we need to reduce, we need to fill this gap between these two for taking a remedial action. So that is called as your follow-up action. So up to from starting first stage to last stage, this is the planning process for achieving the targets of the company, right? So these are the needs of corporate planning process. So these are the benefits or needs to develop corporate planning, right? So today's class, we need to discuss about what is meant by environment and environmental scanning. So we have these 4 slides, right? First look at here, the organization. This is the organization, just assume. So organization means a group of people gathered in one place and doing some activities. Based upon their activities, they will get some earnings. Based upon their earnings, they will satisfy their needs and wants. That particular organization or that particular place is called as a organization, right? Once again, I want to repeat it. Organization means a place there a group of people gather in that particular place and doing some activities. Based upon their activities, they will perform, they will gain some earnings. Based upon their earnings, they will satisfy their needs and wants. That particular place is called as here organization. So in this organization, we have two types of environments. First one is internal environment and second one is external environment, right? So look at here, internal environment and external environment, right? So in this part, the organization itself in internal environment, the organization itself internal environment. So simply here, who runs the company, including the company owners to the company attendants, all of employees and employers are comes under here internal environment, and then external environment. So these two are belongs to the company but don't relate it to the company's internal part, right? So so this external environment is divided into two types. So external environment divided into two types, micro environment and macro environment. So micro environment and macro environment. So micro environment means these all things. So customers, creditors, communities, special interest groups, trade associates, suppliers, employees, trade unions, government, stakeholders. These all things are related to this company, but these all things, these all persons are not the employees or employers of this company, right? That is called as a micro environment. And same way, macro environment, socio-cultural factors like this, socio-cultural factors, global factors, technological, political, legal, economic, demographic. So socio-cultural, political, legal, economic, technological, these all things are also related to this company, but these all things are not the employees and employers of this company, right? That is called about macro environment, right? So look at this thing. So business environment, you have two types. Just already I told you, internal environment and external environment. Internal environment means who belongs to the company, who are work under the organization. So here, employees and employers of particular organization are comes under here. This internal environment and external environment means these people or these factors are related to the company but not involve any business activity, internal business activity, right? And these are not these all things are related to the company but not the employees and employers of this particular organization. That is called as external environment, right? Internal environment means company లోపల పనిచేసే employees and employers. External environment means these factors are related to the company. వీళ్ళందరూ కంపెనీకి రిలేటెడ్, కానీ కంపెనీలో ఎంప్లాయీస్ కాదు, కంపెనీకి ఓనర్స్ కాదు. వీళ్ళందరూ కంపెనీకి అవసరం, కానీ కంపెనీలో ఎంప్లాయీస్ కాదు. That is called as their external environment. These are people who are related to the company but not belongs to employees and employers of that particular company, right? That is called as here external environment. Suppose coming to this internal environment. So internal environment. So here employee mix. Employee mix means all middle level management and lower level management, and also the company employers, all are comes under here. So staff and the workers and the BODs, director, managing director, chairman, all these human beings are included in this employees mix factor. So chairman, director, board of director, right? BODs, general manager, CEO, and second level category, I mean middle level management, financial department, HR, marketing, and production department, are their senior managers and junior managers, And coming to the lower level department, lower level management, like supervisors, workers, clerical staff, and the laborers, all these three categories: top level, middle level, lower level. These three things, from employers to last level workers, this all staff and the workers are belongs to this factor, employee mix. So this is the one of the factor in internal environment. And next thing is here in the internal part, the management values and the company values. So company targets, company values or comes under here, the management or organizational values. So some of the examples, the quality products and quality services to the customers, maximize the sales, new product development, next quantities and qualities of the products, a new design and a company uh, moral values, right? And a company social values. These all come, these all are comes under here, the management values. So it is another part of internal environment. And the next thing is here, stakeholders and their goals. Stakeholders means a people or human beings belongs to the company, right? So in the stakeholders, simply we can have equity shareholders and preference shareholders, debentures. Simply the CEO and the director, board of directors and owners, chairmen are comes under here, and their goals and their targets towards the company. It is another factor of internal environment. Next, strategies and the successes. Strategies means the internal organization and their plans, long-term excellent plans, the strategies for achieving the targets of the company. Next, corporate culture. So corporate means simply a firm or MNCs. So and their culture is one of the factor of internal environment. Resources. Resources means just I told you a number of times, 5 M's: money, men, materials, machinery, and methods. These are the resources. So all internal resources, all resources of the organization are comes under internal environmental factor. And the capabilities. So technological capacities, human capacities means employees capacities, and the financial capacities and the marketing efforts, whatever capabilities here. These all internal capabilities are also one of the factor of internal environment, right? So this is the internal environment. So values, mission, and objectives. Objectives means targets, organization structure, corporate values, quality of human resource. So quality of human resource means quality of employees, labor unions, physical resources, 5 M's, and technical capabilities. These all things are comes under here, internal environment. With all these things, the company will achieve its targets, right? So these all things are belongs to the internal environment. And next coming to the external environment. So in this external environment, we have some factors. So political factors means taxation policy, trade regulations. Trade means our business. Regulation means rules and regulations. So the government given us some rules and set of rules and regulations to run our business. That is trade regulations given by the government. So government regulates and given rules to run our company, right? Those rules and regulations are given by the government. That is called as here trade regulations. These trade regulations are depending upon the political factors. The political factors, right? Now our political factors are these trade regulations and taxation policies, government stabilities, unemployment policies. These all things are changes, will change based upon the politics, based upon the political leaders, right? Suppose example TDP and YSRCP, these are the few political factor examples, right? So some of the situations, TDP will help us to some some of the companies, and the particular political leader will changes, will make a changes in trade regulations, and will take some policies and regulations for the nation. After some time, after 5 years, another political leader will appear. Suppose YSRCP. So that particular CM or political leader will introduce new policies and new regulations for the businesses, for the trade. So those type of changes in bank interest rates and trade regulations and policies and taxation policies, these are will changes based upon the political leaders. So this political and political and legal factors is one of the external environment. So our company will depend upon these political factors, right? And also another factor is here economic factors. Economic factor means here inflation rates, growth in spending power, and rate of people, and pensionable age. So these are the few financial changes are there based upon the inflation or recessions, right? So this is another factor to change our business also, right? It is one of the external environmental factor to changes in our business. And next, technological factors. So technological changes and new or improved channels, distribution channels. Distribution channels already we discussed in the previous unit. Distribution channel means here wholesaler, retailer, distributor, dealer, right? These channels are called as distribution channels. So here, based upon the technological changes, this distribution channel also changes, right? So once upon a time, we have no technical support like Google Pay, Phone Pay, Flipkart, Amazon, these are things, right? So that particular situation, we purely based upon our organizations are purely based upon these distribution channels. So we purely based upon the dealers, distributors, wholesalers, and retailers. But nowadays, these days, we have mobile, right? Internet. We have internet. So based upon some apps, applications, so we can purchase the number of items through online. Am I right? So through online, Amazon, Flipkart, and Google Pay, Phone Pay. These are the few technological apps we have, right, in our phone through the internet. So by using this net, this distribution channel will disrupt, right? So these are the technical factors will change in distribution channels also, right? The improved communications and knowledge transfers. So these are the technological factors, technological, political, legal, and economical factors, and socio-cultural factors. So socio means society, and cultural factors. So culture means simply the human being and their culture, religion factors, and caste related factors, and their physical appearance, their dress sense, their attitude, customers and the society attitudes and mindset, the competitors. These are the few factors related to the socio-cultural environment. So this socio and cultural environment is one of the factor of external environment. These all factors will changes in our internal organization, right? These all things are will influence or impact to change changes in our internal organization systems, right? Next, coming to the external environment, another thing, micro environment. So organization means here customers, competitors, market, suppliers, intermediaries. These are micro. So these are the external factors, but these are close related to the organization. These macro environment factors are also external environment factors, but these are some having a few distance to the organization, right? So these customers and their mindset, attitude, their tastes and preferences are changes. So based upon the customer mindset, our internal environment and our internal business activities will change based upon the customer attitude, right? And the another factor is competitors. So competitor is one of the external environment, but this is not related to the company. So competitors are not the employees and employees of our organization, right? Here the competitors and their activities, it will leads to some changes in our organization, right? Next, suppliers. Suppliers is related to our company, but these suppliers are not our employees or not our employers of our company, right? Here these suppliers and their activities will lead to some changes in our organization, right? Intermediaries. Intermediaries means here middlemen between the customer and the manufacturer. So between the manufacturer and the customer, we have the four middlemen. So these middlemen is also called as the distribution channel, right? It is also called as intermediaries. Those are distributors, dealers, wholesalers, and the retailers. Distributors, dealer, wholesaler, and the retailers. These four persons are called as here intermediaries. So these intermediaries are between the manufacturer and the customer, right? So these intermediaries and their actions also will lead to some changes in our internal organization. So this is all about business environment. So right, so whatever it is, so this internal organization and our organizational business activities will depending upon these external factors. Either it may be micro and or macro, right? So once again, I want to repeat it. Our internal business activities will depending upon the external factors. Either it may be micro environmental factors or it may be macro environmental factors. So customer attitudes and competitors' actions will lead to change the internal organization systems and business activities. That is the major concept here, business environment. So here we need to check each and every factor of business environment. So we need to check each and every factor belongs to macro and micro. And also we need to check all factors of internal environment. So this checking each and every factor of internal and external environment is called as your environmental scanning, right? So the major benefit of environmental scanning is to know our strengths and the weaknesses. To know our strengths and weaknesses. And checking the external environment, micro and macro environments through external environment scanning, we will get and we can know our opportunities and our threats or problems from external environment. From our internal environment, so checking internal environmental factors, then we can able to know our strengths and our weaknesses, right? Our strength means our company strengths and our company weaknesses. These two are belongs to the internal environment, and we can able to know our opportunities and threats from external environment. So simply opportunities and threats, these two are belongs to external environmental factors, right? So simply opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats are come from these two things, external environmental factors. So we carefully check the performances and movements of each and every factors belongs to the micro and macro level environments for the purpose of to know the opportunities we will have and threats or problems we will face from these two. And coming to this internal environment, we will get the benefit of environmental scanning. That is, we can able to know our internal organizational strengths and internal organizational weaknesses. So strengths and weaknesses of our internal organization by conducting a verification of all these factors who belongs to internal environmental factors, right? So the main purpose of environmental scanning is to know about strength and weaknesses. These strength and weaknesses are come from internal environment. And another purpose of scanning, we can able to know our company opportunities and company facing threats. Company facing threats. These two all belongs to macro environmental factors and macro environmental factors, right? And the third major purpose of environmental scanning is to take a right decision and right planning for development of our company, right? So this is all about environmental scanning, right? Now coming to the strategic management process. So our unit name is here strategic management. Once again, I want to repeat strategic management means strategic means a very long-term excellent super plan is called as here strategic strategy. So that strategy we need to maintain here. That is called as your strategic management. This strategic management is meant for achieving the targets of the company. Please remember this thing. The strategic management is the main purpose is to achieve the targets of the company, right? So here the strategic management process. So just to here we have the four steps. First one is environmental scanning. Already we discussed in the previous slides, right? Environmental scanning. So this environmental scanning, we have the internal environment and external environment. We need to carefully study about and we can know about each and every factor and their performances for know about strength and weaknesses of the organization. And we need to check each and every factor which belongs to external for the purpose of to know about the opportunities and threats of the to the organization, right? So this is about environmental scanning. After completion of this environmental scanning, we can have a good result of our company status, our company situation, right? And the market situation. Based upon this environmental scanning, we can able to know the company's position or status and the market or the competitive levels, right? So to completion of this environmental scanning, this report based, then we can plan for preparation of strategies, that is strategy formulation. So strategy formulation. So preparation of long-term excellent super plans, that is called as your strategy formulation, right? In the next class we will have this separate topic, strategy formulation. By using this all points we can prepare or we can formulate the strategies. And then strategy implementation, it will have also another question in our unit, that is strategic implementation. By using these all steps, we can implement our strategies. And the third thing is strategic evaluation and control. This is the fourth step. It will have also another question we have in the fifth unit. It will have another slide. Strategic evaluation and control. By using these all techniques, we can control our strategies, right? So here, environmental scanning. After completion of environmental scanning, we can able to know the company situation, the company financial position, the competitive levels, the market situations, right? Based upon these all results, we can prepare the formulation of strategies. So formulation means preparation of all strategies. After completion of preparation, then we will implement these strategies and plannings. So that is strategy implementation. Whatever formulated activities are here, those activities will perform. That is called as here strategy formulation, sorry, strategy implementation. So then the strategy evaluation and also the control. The strategy evaluation and control means identify the gap between these two. Take remedial actions between these two for reducing the gap, right? So simply, these are the planned performance. Simply, it is actual performance. Implementation of strategies means actual performance. So in this stage, this fourth stage, we will compare the planned performance and the actual performance. If gap between these two, planned and actual, then we need to take a remedial actions to fill that gap, to fill that gap. That is called as here strategy evaluation and control. So simply strategy evaluation control means take the necessary steps and take the remedial actions to fill the gap between these two. So once again, I want to repeat, these are the strategy formulation means planned activities or planned performance. These are the actual performance of these plans, right? In this controlling part, we need to take and we need to check the performances of these two, planned performance and actual performance. If gap between these two, then we will take remedial actions to fill this particular gap. That is called as here strategy evaluation and the control, right? Based upon these all things, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy control. So in this list of topics also we have the strategic management process, strategic formulation, strategic implementation, strategic evaluation, and control. These are the three important questions we have in this fifth unit, right? So in this strategic management process, after completion of the environmental scanning, there's the formulation of strategies, implementation of strategy, and controlling of strategies. So this is the strategic management process, right? So once again, look at here. So environmental scanning means the process of collecting and scrutinizing the providing information for strategic purposes. It helps the analyzing the internal and external factors. So these are the internal and external factors. So these are the internal and external factors influencing an organization. After execution, look at here, after execution environment analysis process, then we need to concentrate strategic formulation, right? So strategy formulation means the process of deciding the best course of actions for accomplishment of organizational objectives and hence the achieving organizational purposes, right? After conducting environmental scanning, the manager formulate corporate plans, business function and strategies. So here, strategic formulation means simply the process of deciding best actions, best course of actions to achieve the targets of the company. So deciding and preparing future course of actions to reach the targets of the company. That is called as here strategic formulation, right? Next, strategic implementation means so whatever formulated plans are there, whatever formulated, prepared actions are there, we need to implement those actions, those plans. That is called as here strategic implementation. So strategic implementation implies makes the strategy work as intended to putting the organization's chosen strategy, so chosen activities, chosen actions, chosen plans into action. So chosen activities, chosen plans into action, into the action. That is called as their implementation. So it includes designing the organizational structure, distributing resources, 5Ms, and developing the decision making processes and managing the human resources. So by human resource management and by implementing the designs, next organized structure, 5Ms, decision making. Based upon these 5 things, we can implement the formulated, prepared actions. That is called as here strategic implementation. Next, strategy evaluation control means check the performance of these two. So planned action, actual actions, planned performance, actual performance. So if any gap is between them, then we need to take a remedial actions to control and to fill this gap. That is called as your strategy evaluation and the control, right? This is all about strategic management process, right? Up to now, we discussed 2 topics, environmental scanning. So in this environmental scanning, we have internal environment and external environment. External environment has further divided into types. First one is micro environment and second one is macro environment. Micro and the macro. These micro and macro external environments are related to the company, but those are not the employees and employers of the internal organization. Next, internal environment means these peoples or belongs to the employees or employers of the organization, and organizational values and organizational decisions and controlling and business all activities are comes under here internal environment. So here we need to check internal environment and external environment for the purpose of to know about the situation and the position of the company, and also we able to know through these environmental checking or scanning the competitive levels and the market levels, right? These are for to take a good decision making and prepare the strategies. For these purposes, we can check and we can scan the environment. This is the first topic we discussed. And the second topic is strategic management process. So this strategic management process, we have the 4 steps: environmental scanning. After completion of scanning, then prepare excellent superb plans. That plans is called as strategy formulation. This is the second step. After completion of strategy formulation, the actions, then we need to implement, we need to do, we need to follow these prepared actions and plans. That is called as your strategy implementation. After completion of implementation, then the 4th step, strategy evaluation and control, will appear. That is, if a gap between these two, strategy formulation means planned performance, strategy implementation means actual performance. So strategy implementation and strategy formulation, or simply strategy strategy, a planned performance and actual performance. If gap is between between these two, then we will take remedial actions to fill gap between these two. That remedial actions and the type of checking and take the remedial actions is called as here the controlling. So strategy evaluation and the controlling. This is the 4th step. So these 4 steps are comes under here strategic management process, right? So in the next class, we will discuss in the strategic formulation and the strategic implementation in depth, right? So thanks for listening, guys. Stay home, stay safe. Be careful with Corona. Bye, guys.